See if I can remember the theme from Underdog. Oh, 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 in this world, nothing. No, I can't remember it. For underdog, underdog, speed of lightning, roar of thunder, mighty who falls thunder, underdog, underdog, underdog. I don't know. The beginning part I messed up, but that's the basic gist of it. Anyway, along that, let's get on to it and continue my tradition since it's Saturday of reviewing 2 movies for you. Okay, and I have the 2 films here. Okay, the first movie is 3 Days to Kill, starring Kevin Costner, Amber Heard, and Haley Stanfield. There it is. And also, I think, what's her name is in this too? What's her name? Connie Nielsen. Yeah, there we go. Anyway, 3 Days to Kill is basically the story about a dying CIA agent trying to reconnect with his estranged daughter. And he gets offered an experimental drug by his new handler in exchange for doing one last job. Okay, Kevin Costner plays Ethan Rayner. I say he's one of the best, and he has a mission to. I think when the movie starts, he has a mission to catch the albino. No, actually, his mission is to follow the albino to the wolf, what his group really wants. The albino's handling the deal for the wolf. Okay, that's the way it goes, and they want him to handle. They want they can say let the. I think they even tell him they said let the because I think he's in Paris. They said let the French catch the albino. We want the wolf. Okay, and during the course of this mission, of course, he kills tons of people, which is great, always good. But the wolf, who I don't want to spoil that part. Actually, the wolf he doesn't catch. Okay, the albino he follows, but during the course of this mission, he starts feeling nauseous and dizzy, and even passes out. Okay, but not before wounding the albino. Okay, who still happens to get away. And finally, what happens is when he wakes up in the hospital, they tell him, listen, you have some kind of brain cancer, and that you only have about 3 months to live. That's what the doctors tell him. So he kind of makes the decision that he's going to give up this working for the government and being an international spy, and he's going to try to reconnect with his young daughter, who they show kind of flashbacks of. Actually, he has tapes and stuff of his daughter when she was younger. Okay, and you haven't seen her in 10 years or so since she was like 9 or something. But anyway, he decides to reconnect with his daughter, who's living in Paris, again with his wife. So, or I guess his ex-wife. I guess so. He goes, and explains to his wife that, listen, I'm dying. I want to spend time with my daughter, and his daughter is played by Haley Stanfield. She plays Zoe. Okay. Now, this movie, Kevin Costner is okay in this movie, but the movie tries to be, I guess, 3 different things. I guess it tries to be a serious reconnecting drama, and then also an ass-kicking, movie with Kevin Costner kicking ass at the same time, and also kind of a, father-daughter bonding thing. But the movie's like all over the place. When he gets back to Paris, of course, he finds out that there's this African immigrant family that basically squats in his apartment, okay, and he goes to the police, and of course they tell him, listen, you have to wait till the spring. We can't really kick them out right now. They have a law because it's the winter. You can't kick them out, so basically you're going to have to put up with them, okay, which is very annoying, okay, and I think I know why which I'll explain later, why they introduced that family into the movie. Okay, and of course, then he also meets Amber Heard's character, who is his handler in this case. Her name is Vivi DeLay. Don't ask me why. Vivi DeLay, that's her name. Okay, and her character is all over the place. When I first saw the trailer for this movie, you see her with the blonde hair, and sexy getup, and you thought, okay, that's what she looks like. But no, in the beginning of the movie, you see her, she's kind of dressed down and plain, and her hair is not blonde. It's just, and you know, they tell her what the assignment is for the mission. And then later, you see her when she first meets Kevin Costner's character. You see her with the long blonde hair and a fancy sports car, and she tells him basically, hey, you know, listen, you do this one last mission for me, and I'll give you this experimental drug that'll hopefully maybe cure you of your brain cancer. Okay, even though he tried, you know, he basically tried to quit the agency so he can spend the remaining time that he has with his daughter. Okay, but then every time he meets her, I think he meets Amber Heard's character like 4 or 5 other times in the movie, and of course she's always different, and they don't explain why her hair style is different and why she, you know, I just think they did that, I guess, maybe to make her character unique or something, but it just kind of makes sense. I don't know why he made her, I guess they thought it was, maybe it'd be outrageous, you know, because every time he meets with her, her hair is different or something, and she's different, even a different color, and you go, what the hell is up with her character? Because and the way they portray her character, right, you know, that she wants him to kill, you know, the wolf, but it seems she seems perfectly capable of doing it herself. So why she needs him to do, and then, like I said, during the course of the movie, when he's trying to reconnect with his daughter, he has to go on these missions to get close enough to the albino which leads him to the wolf. He basically captures other agents and stuff that know the wolf and the albino rather, and he basically, he's basically beating them up and torturing them at the same time, trying to connect with his daughter at the same time. And I guess they thought this was being hysterical. Oh, at the same time he's trying to connect with his daughter, he's beating, he's going on these missions to get the wolf ultimately, and he's beating people up and making jokes. And like you see in the trailer, he has a guy in the trunk and he tells him, "Listen, be nice. I'm trying to," he punched the guy's face. He said, "Listen, I'm trying to bond my daughter." And he even asked one of the guys for advice on, because the guy has daughters, about how to connect with a teenage daughter. And like I said, the movie just it's all over the place. It seems like there's no consistent theme in this movie. And I admit some parts of it were charming, and I think Kevin Costner did the best that he could with the role, like I said, which is all over the place. And Haley Stanfield plays the rebellious teenage daughter who basically calls him Ethan, instead of Dad, for most of the movie. Kind of resisting him trying to bond with her, until she, eventually she gives in. But it's just, I guess the movie had potential, but it was just, the script is just horrible, because like I said, it's all over the place. And like I said, that Parisian family that moved in to his apartment, Kevin Costner's character's apartment, the reason they put them in there, this immigrant family, because they had a daughter that was about to give birth, and I guess they did that to show the parallel between this family who kind of forces himself onto Kevin Costner and kind of makes him see the importance of family. So I guess that was the purpose of putting them in there, so that way he would have meaning. He could see how a good family is, that's kind of close to their children, so he can try to use that to connect with his daughter. It's just, like I said, it's just all over the place. I mean, it's not a mean movie or anything, but it's just all over the place. There's no consistent theme in it. Okay, the script is just horrible. Okay, the action scenes are okay, real decent. Like I said, Kevin Costner plays the action scenes great. Okay, and then like I said, Amber Heard's character is all over the map with her different hairstyles and acting weird, and like doing these weird things when he meets with her, even though she could probably do the mission that she gave to him to do anyway. Like I said, it's just all over the place. So I would give 3 Days to Kill like a 6 out of 10, and that's mostly because of Kevin Costner and the action scenes in it. But like I said, the script is all over the place with this movie. It doesn't settle to one consistent theme. It's like all over the map. Okay, so I would give it a 6 out of 10. Okay, just you bother, just rent it. Okay, you don't have to buy that one. Just rent that one, because it's just, unless you're a big Kevin Costner fan, it's just all over the place. Anyway, now the next movie that I reviewed is called That Awkward Moment. Okay, this is a movie that I actually wanted to see. Okay, when it first came out, this is a comedy romance thing. It came out in January, of course, which is not always a good sign for these type of movies. Okay, it came out in January of this year. Okay, which is usually a dumping ground for all the bad movies. Okay, this is about 3 best friends who trying to. I guess they come from it from a different perspective, and they're basically trying to. They make a vow. I guess. You got the three main characters. You got Zac Efron's character, who's Jason, who's always hooking up with random girls and never really committing to any one relationship. And then you have Miles Teller, who plays his friend Daniel, of course, who's it's like one of his best friends, and a perpetual single guy. And then you also have Michael B. Jordan's character, who plays Mikey, who's a married doctor who finds out, of course, that his wife is leaving him and that she's been having an affair with her lawyer. And so what they make a vow once they find this, when of course Mikey's of course devastated that his wife is cheating on him and wants a divorce. So they make a vow to stick together and to not and just date around and not commit to any one serious relationship. Okay, but of course that doesn't always go the way it doesn't work out. Of course, during the course of a movie, it doesn't work out the way they want to. Okay, what happens basically is Jason, he meets Ellie, played by Imogen Poots. She's I think she works for works for an author. Okay, and he kind of meets her at a bar and picks her up and kind of bonds with her. And then also then you have Miles Teller's character, who has a girlfriend, a friend that hangs out with the guys. Her name is Alana, who he starts sleeping with, and okay. And then you also have Michael B. Jordan's character, who also tries to reconnect with his ex-wife, well, his soon-to-be ex-wife, or I guess reconnect with his wife, Vera, played by Jessica Lewis. And what usually, like I said, what happens in this movie exactly is that when they make this vow not to seriously date anyone, but then they start falling into, they really do start falling into relationships with their significant others in this movie. And like I said, it's a comedy romance, and like I said, I like the chemistry between the three guys. I think they have good chemistry, and I like Imogen Poots, her character, and who's Ellie, who dates Jason, which is played by Zac Efron. And I also like Chelsea, played by Mackenzie Davis, who's Miles Teller's character, Daniel's one of the girl pal that hangs around with the guys who he starts to sleep with. Okay, and like I said, what they do, they start, they make this vow to always just stick together and not seriously dating. But of course, their relationships start turning into real relationships. And like I said, Mikey, played by Michael B. Jordan, he starts reconnecting with his ex-wife and starts having sex with her again. And now this movie is sort of a chick flick in a way. I know it's a stereotypical thing to call it, but it is. So that just like a chick flick, I guess, for guys in a way. Okay, but like I said, the movie is pretty much predictable. I mean, you know what's going to happen. These guys make the vow not to be in relationships, and they turn into relationships. They actually do turn into relationships, and then other things happen in this movie. Like I said, the best thing this movie had going for it, I think, is the chemistry between the three leads, the three main guys. Okay, them, and I like the performances by Imogen Poots and, like I said, Mackenzie Davis. But the story is just predictable and not that fantastic. Okay, and the other good thing that it has going for it, of course, they shot it in New York, and you see all the great New York locations around, and that's good. But it's not anything special. Okay, it's just you pretty much can predict where it's going to go. Okay, so it's nothing outstanding or something that you say, oh my God, I didn't see that coming. Okay, you can pretty much see where every storyline kind of plays out. And like I said, the best thing it has going for it is the three guys, the three actors I think are decent. Like I said, Zac Efron I thought was good, and especially Miles Teller, who just has he has a certain chemistry with everybody he acts around with. He just plays a confident guy, and Michael B. Jordan kind of has the I guess the kind of, not the thankless role. He has the kind of the role that he's the married guy who's trying to reconnect with his ex-wife, and stunned at first, of course, that she wants to divorce him and stuff, and then he tries to reconnect with her. Okay, and like I said, the best thing again that I had going for it is the chemistry between the main leads, and like Imogen Poots and that Mackenzie what's her name? Mackenzie Davis, who plays Chelsea, Miles Teller's character of Daniel, his you know, BFF who he starts sleeping with. Okay, but like I said, it's nothing anything special. Okay, like I said, you can pretty much predict where it's going to go watching it. But like I said, I was entertained for what it was. Okay, and I think it's only like hold on, I don't think it's that long. So yeah, it's about 94 minutes, so it's not that long. Okay, so it's a nice little, not harmless movie, nothing special. Okay, and so I would give it mostly because of the chemistry and the New York locations and the two actresses I like in that. I would give it a 6.2. Okay, 6.2. Okay, like I said, if the script was better and it wasn't so predictable, okay, and the movie was a little bit longer and we had more time to flesh out the characters, I think this movie could possibly at least be a 7 or maybe a 7.5. Okay, but as it is, it's a nice harmless movie. Okay, doesn't hurt anybody. Okay, so a 6.2 for this, and 3 Days to Kill, a 6. Like I said, it's all over the map with what it wants to be. Okay, not selling on one thing, and Amber Heard's character is all over the place just for no reason. Okay, Haley Stanfield, who plays the daughter in this, she's okay, playing the rebellious daughter and stuff. Okay, she's a good actress, but like I said, the story, I wish it would have settled on one thing, or at least had a better script, okay, and more consistent, because it had potential. And Kevin Costner, to me, is the best thing in this movie. Okay, he gamely took on the role, even though it's all over the map, and he does the action sequences great, very well. Anyway, let me know if you've seen these two movies. What do you think of those? Feel free to leave comments down below, and if you like this video, please hit the subscribe button down below. And this is Trepacer saying, for Trepacer Saturday Reviews, saying so long and take care.